You've got the Aired Out Podcast, live from Fly on the Wall Productions. Top of the morning to you. JD Green, Raylene is right next to me on this, I'm going to say it, Raylene, Taco Tuesday. I'm right out of the gate with it this morning.
It is Taco Tuesday.
You didn't
over
think,
at the pub in Williamstown.
You didn't think I forgot, did you?
Well, of course not. It's tacos for $2 all day long.
Like
$2 twisted teas, canned, $7 house marks.
Look at you. You go.
Yeah.
Damn.
Taco salads, taco salad wraps.
Oh, my God.
Burritos, all that great stuff.
Is there a limit, like, for how many hours you can spend in there? Or
No.
how many tacos
There's
you can
just
get?
your wallet depicts that.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's not like, I'm going to get arrested if I'm there for more than 8 hours and I've put down like 35 tacos.
No, as long as your wallet can accommodate that,
All
and you get a hotel room for later because Charlott's not going to want you anywhere near her, you're good to go.
Yes! You have a lot to talk about this morning.
I do.
You go. You go.
So, well,
I'm getting the hell out of the way.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Mostly just sponsor stuff. There's a lot going on this week. We know that the Veggie Van Go is this Friday.
Yes.
9 to 10:30 at the right at the auditorium in Barrie, and anybody can go. And if you are someone who is working and cannot get there, you are allowed to send someone else in your place.
That's a great point.
A lot of people don't realize that. And still, I agree. It's unfortunate that there aren't some different hours, that there isn't something else that could be done in regards to that.
Sure.
To every once in a while do it on an afternoon timeline, or or a weekend something.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I know.
Unfortunately, that's where it is. It is a limit of 5 families. So if you go and you're picking up for someone else, you cannot pick up for more than 5 families.
Okay.
The GMT announced this morning that in Washington County, they have suspended some routes again in the area. The city commuter is not doing a 6, 7, 8, or 9 a.m. City commuter. That's from Barrie to Montpelier, which is crucial. Blows my mind. And then not 4 p.m., 5 p.m., or 6 p.m. on Saturday. This is effective immediately. And 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and 6 p.m. on the weekdays as well, Monday through Friday.
Yes.
Saturday is the 8, 9, 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't know what they need to do, but they seem to get some employees and then they shift. I know at a recent city council meeting, I was told that shift is coming from, the ski resorts are making big bucks, and that they're sending the drivers that they have to stow in places like that where they can make the money. And sometimes you got to wonder how, and it's a sudden, lack of employees.
Sure.
And it just makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Fecto Homes, big congratulations to them this morning for being named Best Modular Home Builders in the state. So a big congratulations to them.
I'm shaking my head because I'm not surprised.
Very proud to have them as sponsors of the Aired Out Podcast.
Very
for
much.
Sure.
Yes.
And then we know Washington County Mental Health Wellness Wednesday starts tomorrow.
Yes.
And
God, that came up fast.
It did. The sessions are posted on our Facebook page, and pay attention because there are some things that you need to call and schedule. So It's Wellness Wednesday, runs 4:30 to 7, and if you would like chair or table massage, Reiki, a myofascial body release.
Yeah.
That's you need to call and reserve those things, and you can do that by calling 800-479-4055.
Yeah.
And there are also walk-in ear acupuncture, mindful meditation.
I need it all.
All of that good stuff.
I want the full body massage. Full body.
And there's teas and different things happening. It's just a calm, relaxing, nice
and it's
space
free.
to be.
It's free.
And yes, most importantly, it's free and it's open to all.
Yeah.
Washington County Mental Health Wellness Wednesdays, right on 23 Summer Street in Barre. And again, that number is 802-479-4055, and the flyer's right on our page.
Where hope and support come together. They have been a wonderful sponsor of ours for, I don't even know how many years now. I've lost track. They're still with us.
Yes,
we love
are.
them. Roger Hill is saying we've got. First of all, I got to say, when I woke up this morning, it was 32 degrees in my house. It
Right,
felt like a freaking heat wave.
much nicer, wasn't it?
I was
No
like,
wind.
I was
No
like, where's the
wind.
birds chirping? When am I mowing the lawn?
Yeah,
When I felt those temperatures,
it
oh
did
my
seem
God.
nice for sure.
But apparently, we have a winter weather advisory, 7 p.m. Through 7 a.m. on Thursday. So, overcast. You could see it right there. Some spotty freezing rain, mostly in southern parts of the state. And it looks like Wednesday. Tomorrow, going to be cloudy. A little bit of light snow. Just enough to make it slick. A little bit of light accumulation. Highs around 30 tomorrow. So, drive carefully if you're out on the road. Don't drive like an asshat. Wednesday night, still some periods of snow and a wintry mix. I hate the word mix because that's always kind of...
Right, danger.
Yeah, that's funky.
They did say it'll be slick travel tomorrow morning for sure.
And maybe even Thursday, too.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be transitioning to rain. Mm-hmm. And then the fog and the visibility is crappy, so just go easy.
Quite frankly, I'm hoping that the temperature drops back down a bit and we will not be dealing
Don't
with
say the F word.
the R word.
Oh, rain?
I would much rather that the temperature drop back down and we not deal with any more rain.
God,
We have had enough of the rain.
We have. Very, very much.
We're all done.
Yes. Fly on the Wall Productions bringing you the Aired Out podcast this morning, live on Facebook and YouTube. Did I just say live?
You did.
We are live. We're always
live.
Streamed everywhere you get your podcasts and on the web at airedoutvt.com. I want to make sure we're getting everything on what you got.
We do.
Before we shift gears.
Well, before we shift gears, let's just say that also Giroux General Transport has a class coming right up March 4th. So the last class they did fill right up, and they filled up a little bit quick. And so if you would like to get in on that class, get in there.
Don't wait.
Don't wait. Call 802-476-4679 or 279-3325 and talk with Tracy. And prior to doing that, you may want to read the ad that's on the Aired Out podcast page, because there are some changes. Previously, you could get your permit once you were already in the class, taking the class, had done some stuff with them. That is not so with some of the DMV changes. You need to obtain your permit first.
Yes.
And so please check that out and then give Tracy a call and get signed up for that class that will start March 4th. It's really not that far away.
Yeah. And their phones are ringing.
Their phones are ringing, and there's things that you need to do ahead of time if you're going to need financial assistance. If there are things that you need to do, you'll need to get that ball rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
Yeah, I mean, she can make sure it happens even a little bit last minute, but nobody likes to do that. They like to be a little more prepared. Please check it out.
This, are we good?
We're good.
We're totally good. All right. This kid that you can see on your screen right now, we have been featuring his motivational morning excerpts for the last, couple of weeks now. That's Connor. and you're always going to see him. His hair is always going to look the same. Sometimes he's got the hood up, sometimes it's down, but he's always got that sweatshirt on, and he's with us this morning in the studio this morning, and I am just tickled, Raylene. Look at this kid. What's going on, buddy? How are you, man?
Good. How are you?
Man, I gotta say, and to your dad as well, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning, JD. Good morning, Raylene.
I'm so happy that you guys came in here this morning. Raylene and I we've been talking with you guys, and we were just like, how can we how can we wait? The new studio is coming along quite well on North Main Street, but we can't wait. We got to get this kid on the air with us, right?
I agree.
And
it was time.
It was.
And you all met a few weeks ago at the studio, actually. Went down there. You got to see it under construction and chase JD around a little bit, have a couple of races I saw, and
video of that.
talk to him a little bit. So it was nice for me to finally be able to meet you. I'm super proud of you, just so you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Connor, I don't know who to start with. I mean, I have questions for your dad also, but your motivational morning, your Facebook page is popping, my little brother. It is doing very, very well. You're getting a lot of eyes and a lot of ears. Hopefully not just from adults, but from kids and young adults and teenagers. Did you wake up one morning and say, Dad, I want to do something called Motivational Mornings. I want to do something with social media. What was the inception of Connor's Motivational Morning? How did it all start, buddy?
So basically, I showed my dad like a motivational quote one morning, and I was like, what if we do like a morning that like we kind of like do like a quote? And my dad's like, yeah, we could call it like a motivational morning. And I'm like, that'd be perfect. So like a day later, we did it. We woke up and we found some quotes, and I basically read off of them, and then my dad found some music to put on it, and it just was really cool, and then we just kept on doing it ever since, and I cannot believe how popular it's been getting.
It's tremendous. I mean, it's exploded, and
People wait to see you.
they do.
Yeah.
I mean, even we even get poked here. Hey, when are you going to put Connor on? When are you going to have Connor on? When we're live. So listen. Negativity sells. I think positivity can sell more and reach more eyes and ears and spread faster. I think
If we wanted to.
if we wanted to, and we Raylene and I,
we need it desperately.
we do, and Raylene and I try to push that all the time. There's plenty of negative stuff. All you have to do is own a cell phone, and you turn it on, and there's all of the negative shit that you could possibly imagine looking you square in the face every day. I mean, people wake up, they don't even get out of bed, and they turn on their phone, and it's just one negative thing after another. But for you to say, we're going to bring something positive onto social media, onto a platform, looking for the positive isn't always easy. You can find the negative stuff real easy, real fast. It's not easy being positive all the time, man. And I'm sure there's maybe some mornings where maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Do you always feel like doing this every single day?
Yes.
Damn, boy.
Even if I'm always in a bad mood.
Really?
And my dad said this to me too. I always am, when I'm in a bad mood, I always seem very positive whenever I do them. And then after I do it, it always makes me positive.
Which is good. I'm just so shocked and impressed that you chose mornings. Like you're a young boy and you chose mornings. Most boys in the morning are like, nope, not doing it. Like motivational evenings, maybe, but never mornings. I'm surprised that you can just get right up and do that.
Exactly.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest. Well, I mean, it really started off as and not to cut anybody off or you, Connor, but what was really cool about it, and as we know, there's bullying issues. Connor's going through a lot of bullying issues, right? There's addiction issues that young kids don't understand that Connor, unfortunately, also has to go through. So as a father, you know, I have a production company. We do music and events and podcasts and stuff like that. So for years, Connor's been bugging me to do something with him. And I've always said, present me with a plan, right? And then we'll make it happen. And he never really came up with it. But like Connor said, it was kind of like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school. You know, everything in the world's beating down on him. So the reason why we started in the morning was literally, if you look back at the first videos we started doing, it's me and him in the car.
Right.
And when we get in the car, Dad goes crazy because I try to cheer him up to get him pumped up for school, and I'm like the idiot savant, right? And that's where it started. So Connor would get in the car, not ready for school, and then put his game face on, like he said, say his quote, and then feel really good about going to school again, right?
Wow.
And like you said, it just blew up out of nowhere. It really came out of nowhere. It was just a little thing for me to figure out, how do I keep my kid positive, right? We live in a day and age where kids are struggling. And for me, growing up, I tend to look a lot back on my childhood. Like, I didn't have a bad childhood. My parents were very involved. We did lots of things, but I was beat like it was an Olympic sport. You know what I mean? So anything I did wrong, I would get my ass handed to me and thrown in my room. So as a kid, as an adult, even if that happened to us, we don't understand it, right? So no one's explaining us. No one's doing anything. It's like training your dog, right? You can,
Right.
You can tell everybody no, but until you explain it to them, they're never going to understand.
Sure.
And like me and Connor talk a lot about, what's our favorite word?
Accountability.
Right. So it's being accountable. So whether we're a parent, you know, people are like, Joe, you're the best parent. I'm like, I'm the worst parent. I'm just invested into my child. You know what I mean? And I hold myself accountable to make sure that he knows every day that he's loved and that he's supported. Right. And those are the only two things I can do for him. I try to show him the way and let him go fall down on his own, you know, and then pick him up and brush him off and push him on his way again, you know. But it really was started to cheer him up. You know, and the addiction thing is something that I don't think we as parents and adults talk about enough until it's too late. You know what I mean? Like
You're preaching to the choir when you talk to me
we
about it.
We all kind of sit around and we kind of choose to avoid it because, you know, and the thing is we all can relate to these situations, right? Abuse, you know, for me, and we've talked before about where this abuse leads to, bullying, right?
Sure.
Let's just back up 1 second. Yeah. So we want to make it clear that Connor is not suffering from addiction issues.
No, right.
He has a
mother.
A mother. Yeah. Okay. So I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, I can't read the comments.
It's not Connor that's suffering from addiction.
I mean, it's not unfortunate that Connor is not the one suffering, but, you know, he doesn't have the addiction. But, you know, when I think about, there's two things that scare me more than anything in life, and as a father, and I'm sure you guys can agree with this, is your child committing suicide when he's a teenager.
Sure.
Right? I buried some amazing kids in my life, you know, through my company, being a part of, and it's usually because of depression and drugs, right? So it's how do we handle our emotions, right? Like in the bully situation in school, we talk about this. We enable kids to do these things without any accountability, and then once they hit a certain age, they're held accountable, right? So what does that do to this kid? Does it help the kid get better? Do we just throw them into a hold you accountable state where you're always in trouble and you can't seem to get light of day, you know what I mean? Or do we do what Connor's kind of his preaching, which is he's better than me, because I can't tell him how many times I said go punch that kid in the nose, and he's like, no, Dad, we can't do that.
Amazing. So Connor, I'll be the first to tell you that I know when I was 11 years old. I know when I was 10, 11, 12. I know exactly what was going on in my life, where I lived, what was happening. I got to tell you, man, I wouldn't be able to handle just knowing myself. We're all different. But just me, I wouldn't be able to handle a mom who had addiction issues, period. Throw in bullying on top of that. I just know, I know myself. I know the way, I know what my fuse is. I know how I would react. I wouldn't be, I'm getting choked up here. I wouldn't be able to handle life as eloquently as you are right now at 11 years old. I wouldn't have been able to do it. We're all different. Some of us have thicker skin than others, but I think you're doing a great job by dealing with your bullies at school. And my blood pressure always goes up. Raylene knows this. I mean, anytime we talk about sensitive things, kids, the elderly, and veterans, things can get a little funky on the air, and sometimes we just let fly with whatever comes to mind. But I feel all kinds of things. I feel great empathy, sympathy for you. I feel great admiration for you. I mean, I think most adults could have. He's setting an example for many adults
that need an example set, because a lot of us adults have forgotten how to behave well, me included, a lot of times, because I let my emotions dictate what comes out of my mouth.
Okay, so me too. Me too. Not all the time, but sometimes. I think that's happened once on the air. In
Once.
What? No, I mean one, like
You're hysterical.
one really good doozy.
Right, one
of a
good
time.
doozy. Right.
But you know, I also feel a great amount of frustration and, I guess, for lack of a better term, anger toward not just the bullies, because I understand that there's always going to be bullies in the world. They've been around for a gazillion years. There's always going to be kids out there who are mean, who are not fair. Life is not fair. You're obviously learning that very quickly. But even more so, my frustration lies with the adults. And when I say adults, I'm talking about first, before the administration of any school, first, the parents. Cut me off if you need to, Raylene. The parents, number one, and number two, the teachers, the administration, the adults that are supposed to be not coddling you, okay? Not putting a protective bubble around you, but knowing the difference between typical childlike behavior, okay, poking each other, maybe even a little bit of name calling, but some pushing, some shoving, some goofing around, and you guys need to learn your place, okay? I mean, Lily's doing that now. She's younger than you, but just learning how to stand up for yourself, but also taking a couple of I don't want to say hits like physical hits, but just thickening up your skin so that you're prepared for life. Learning how to do that. But there's a difference when things go too far and a child is being repeatedly affected emotionally, and bringing that negative experience that happened at school, bringing that home, and it's occupying space in their head and affecting them throughout the day in their life outside of the school. That's different. Am I right? So what's going on? You've got a couple of bullies at school. Okay. When did this all start?
One started 3 years ago. The other started 4 years ago. And the third one started 2 years ago.
Okay. So you have basically three bullies. Is that right, Dad?
Yeah, 3 bullies, 3 years fighting with schools, and you hit the nail on the head, JD. Parents, school teachers. I'm blown away by the reactions we get when we talk to these officials by telling me, I have friends that are teachers that won't bring their kids to that school to me, that's you're the problem, right? And I hate to be that guy to say that, but like if you know there's issues and you allow issues, we talk about enabling and accountability, right? We're enabling things to happen with zero accountability, and then when you leave a situation that you know is toxic, to run home with your head down to say I would never allow my kid to step into this school because I know the inner workings. There's a problem, and then it's not one teacher, it's not two teachers, it's multiple teachers within the school system, right? But then, JD, I took a field trip with Connor, right? So this year they were like, hey, who wants to be a chaperone? I was like, I want to be there. I need to see this dynamic working because they won't let me in school, right? Now they know I'm a very intrusive parent that cares about my kid. That
Why won't they let you in
I
the
want
school?
them to be accountable, probably because they don't want me to see what happens.
Right.
I want to say they departmentalize everything in there, so it's almost like a military thing. So when I called Connor's guidance counselor to ask her why Connor got tackled, hair ripped out, beat up in front of a teacher who didn't do anything to help him, who's also the same teacher who has blocked him from going to get help and closing doors on him, there's a problem, right? Like, then when do the teachers hold themselves accountable? But on this field trip, JD, and we talk about enabling. I think the biggest problem in our world right now is we enable people so much that we don't realize we're doing it because we just don't not want to have a reaction, right? We don't want to have to deal with somebody getting upset. We don't want to deal with somebody getting mad. We don't want to deal with anything, so we just make it easy. Go do whatever you want, right? I don't care. So teachers, I must have heard say, and we talked about this before, no, you can't do that, stop. Probably 30 times to the same one individual bully that Connor's been having problems with, which I specifically won the field trip for. But do you think the kids stopped? You know what I mean? Like, no has become a word that we don't even hear anymore in society.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that counts for us as adults, children. You know what I mean? Everybody has this opinions, and they think our opinions are the most important thing rather than just letting us do or they do, or you know what I mean? The cancel culture is killing me, right? But like we're canceling people that shouldn't be canceled, and we're not canceling the people that we need to be canceled.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
sure.
We're holding accountable. So for me, it's like you said, it starts with the administration, right?
Yeah.
Starts with a teacher who would rather yell and scream and not take 2 seconds out of their day to listen to a child who's getting literally beaten up in front of them.
Right.
But the minute anything online happens, the minute anything happens to them personally, and we had this discussion. Everybody, like for us, we've had the hugest reach out by people, right, supporting Connor. Connor's videos. Connor's amazing. Connor's this. Connor's that. Other parents that are on his same teams that have kids being bullied that are saying, "Hey, we need to stop to this." Joe, you know, use your platform, use your voice. Basketball teams, right? And the minute we get up to a point where we're literally banging on the wall trying to get things done, and we're opening perspectives, I call it, right? Because it's all a perspective. You know what I mean? Sometimes people don't see things whether they want to or not, or they don't understand things. And we can't fix anything unless we have a conversation. That's the one thing I tell Connor all the time. If you have a problem and you're upset with me, your teacher, anybody, you can't fix anything if they don't know or you don't communicate, right?
Right. Well, a lot of us are resorting to social media to bitch and moan and complain. We're
Correct.
keyboard pirates instead of sitting face to face and talking with each other and working this out.
But when you hide behind the laptop, you say whatever you want, and then you're still, again, you're not holding yourself accountable because those words mean something. So
see, I think it starts. I think it starts with parents because I don't know. Raylene and the three, we're all the same age. I think the three of us, me, you, and Raylene. It was, man, back in like the 70s and 80s. I don't know. It's just a different planet that we lived on. Something changed. Something's
the
different.
society was different than
Society.
JD.
Right. Discipline
Right.
changed.
It was
and,
different.
and
You could
discipline
you could
changed.
trust society to back your kids who are out on their bikes until it gets dark out, and that your neighbor would
Bingo.
watch your child and step up and be just as responsible as you are.
You're
Nowadays, it's not, our whole family structure has
It's
diminished.
deteriorated.
But
right?
government changed that because we have to fear, and nobody dares to say anything to anybody else's child for fear of being
I'm going to get
Right.
sued.
yeah
I'm
getting
gonna get
sued, thrown in
harassed.
jail,
Yep.
charged with a crime.
And I think that's where the schools have taken a huge step back because they're afraid to say
Exactly.
this is the rule.
Exactly.
Like in Connor's situation with his basketball team this year, the people that you guys understand, the people that know Connor understand that he has a bully that's beating people up, players on the team getting suspended throughout the season, and they're making him a captain.
Well, it's
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
And-
It's not only that it's a rule at our school, but if you don't follow it and if you don't abide by it, you're not going to be coming to this school anymore. Right. Coming to this school is a privilege.
Yes, exactly.
And if you're going to continue to violate our rules, we have some standards here at our school,
right,
then you're not going to come to this school anymore. And I'm not just talking about, this isn't all about ganging up on Northfield School, because there's bullying everywhere. It is particularly bad at Northfield. I will say that. Before I even met you guys, and
we knew about it. We've talked about it several times, and I've stepped in it pretty deep a couple of times myself.
About specifically the Northfield School?
Yes, because I was so angry.
I mean, I invite Connor to Google it and see where they rank. So I saw a thing come out about a year ago about how bad they were. And I've been talking to state reps because of his situation to get stuff done, because the school will not talk to you. I have a autistic niece who's Connor's age and Connor's grade. The same bully chokes her out, swears, chokes her out, beats her, physically abuses her. My sister does not get a phone call. So imagine being a parent when your child comes home, and then when you call the school, they're like, I'm glad you have that relationship with your child, that they talk to you. Well, doesn't every parent, or should we not, as every parent, when your child comes home, to figure out how his day was?
Yeah.
But should we not hear about how my child got beat up and hair pulled out and how he went to 3 teachers to get shooed away through my son, and not an email?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So I want to know from Connor. So every morning, I know that I'm going to call it this because I don't know what else to call it. But every morning you must have to get emotionally ready that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pack my Connor's toolbox kind of thing. What do you have to put in that to get yourself ready? Like, what do you have this quote in your head that you carry throughout the day, something you say to yourself? Is there a safe place for you to be during the day, or a safe someone? Is there anybody, a friend, or one adult, or anybody or anything that you have?
I have my dad. I have my best friends, which are my best friends, and then I have, that's it, basically. Because it's kind of hard to trust people nowadays when everybody's like switching sides on people, and like it's just hard.
And how do you prepare yourself for the day?
My motivational mornings. My dad usually gets me all hyped up, even when I'm in a bad mood, and I act like I really don't care when I do. But yeah, my dad usually gets me emotionally like hyped up. Like he's always like sometimes he blasts a song and then starts singing it, and then I like taps my arm.
And you're like,
and then he's like,
don't be singing, right?
I mean, I didn't. So I'm not one of the kids that are rude to their parents, because I know what that'd get me, and I wouldn't even be rude. But usually I just go along with it, and I'm like, yay,
yeah,
and I sing it like not in like a high pitched voice, but yeah.
That's good. And then what about during the day when stuff happens and you're just starting to feel really cruddy, and you know that you have really no teacher or anything? Is there something that you can do to kind of help yourself get through the rest of the day?
No, I'm gonna be honest, no.
No.
Whenever I go to a principal, they always talk, and then I see them in class 2 minutes later. The teachers don't do anything. Nobody does anything about anything, so it's hard to go to school and know that it's going to happen every day unless they do something about it, which they haven't done. And it's really hard.
So that must interrupt your education.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you, if once you're upset and you're feeling shook up, how do you sit and pay attention and concentrate and learn?
So I usually do this, where I like trace out my fingers. And like sometimes I like kind of just look at the teacher and zone out everything aside from the teacher. And yeah. And I totally agree with you. School's not supposed to be about how cool you are. It's supposed to be about education and learning, not about how athletic you are, about how popular you are, about how many friends you have, about how many, like, people like you,
Right, what your clothes are,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
how much money you have.
So you do have a kind of a toolbox. You don't really call it that or know that
Yeah.
because you sit and you trace your fingers and you know how to zone people out. So
Yeah.
you've gotten to that point. But not that I think that you should need to have one, but I think we all kind of mentally have one all our lives where there's something that we do that we keep all of this stuff in our pockets to get us through these times. And I think but the horrible part about that is that at such a young age that it's something that you even need to have, or the skill that you've had to develop is super sad and not necessary. Yeah, at all. Can you tell us about some incidences?
So, bully number 1. So this happened yesterday. So 3 days earlier, he was picking on my autistic cousin. Because she's had this problem with people barking at her. And bully number 1 kept on barking at her. So I'm like, stop it, please. And he didn't stop. Maddie, and then as I was walking away, because I thought he stopped, Maddie told him to stop again. So I'm like, what are you doing? And then as I said that, I heard him growl, like a really tiny kind of whispering growl. And I was put up with it because this has happened 2 times by this bully. So I'm going to be honest, he didn't stop. Then he told my cousin to shut up. And then that's when I got super mad. I'm going to be honest. I shoved him into a locker because I got that mad. So then I went in to the student center because I was in a little bit of trouble. Miss Monroe, which is my principal, she emailed my dad about it and said that I'm not really in trouble because she knows why I did it. But she still should. She wished I should have went to a teacher. So I went back 3 days later, and so I don't know if you had them, but semester 1 and semester 2.
Yeah.
In semester 2, we changed up the entire class around. He's in almost every single class I have 3 days after this happened, and then we already had a problem. The first day, I was in a really good mood today. I was hyped up. I was ready to meet new teachers. I was ready to get my education. And then he keeps on doing AK-47 shooting sounds in class, which is not like with his voice. It's an actual AK-47 shooting sound on his laptop that he looked up or did something. I'm pretty sure he looked up like a soundboard or something. And then, as I was walking by, am I allowed to say this? What my dad told you?
My man,
Yes.
let me tell you something, okay? This is a podcast that sometimes we can get in a lot of trouble with.
I'll take one for the team.
I'll take one for the team also, and I'll say this, man. It's like you're talking about guns. There's the 2 most dangerous things on the planet: guns and microphones. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was walking by him, and because I was putting my sheet away, bully number 1 was sitting right, because Miss Dot, oh my God, the teacher keeps on fighting. Somehow in her right mind, thought it'd be a good idea to sit Sergio at the exact same table as me. I was walking by, and he said he wanted to rape little kids. So then, that's when I got really mad. I wanted to go tell a principal, except my teacher, she never lets me leave. Never. Gives us 30 seconds between break in class, and then always gets mad at us. She emailed my dad for me asking to go to the bathroom. So then I didn't want to tell her because then she'd be like, well, you're skipping class. So I'm like, okay, I'm just not going to tell her. So until like after the class. And then what happened was after class, because there was 3 witnesses that heard it and heard the AK-47 gun shooting sounds. I'm like, I'm gonna tell on you for that to bully number 1. He did not say that he did it until the second time of me saying I'm gonna tell on you. He said, "Fine, I did it. Just please do not tell a teacher." I went to go pack my stuff up, and of course he is in the locker right behind mine. He said that I ruined his life, and then pushed me. And then I don't know if this was on purpose, but his boots whacked me in the face 2 times. So then I got my stuff ready. I saw the principal because the vice principal wasn't in her office because we had to go to the auditorium to see what classes we're in. So I saw her on the way, and me and 3 other witnesses, we all talked to her about it. And she said that she talked to Sergio. We went into the gym. She talked to Sergio, and I didn't see him all day. And then that's the end of that incident, which happened yesterday.
So, I'm sitting here listening to you, buddy, and I can't help but think a couple of things. Bullies need attention. More than need, they crave it. Because in some facet of their life, they're not getting it.
Yeah.
Either from their parents, their siblings, maybe their friends, or people that they think that they're friends, teachers, whatever. They need attention.
I mean, they could still get it from their parents too. It's just they could go to school.
Even if it's negative attention, they need attention. I remember when I was in 3rd grade, there was this kid, Roger, and he was very funny. He was a very funny guy. And he was always goofing around. Well, I started goofing around with him. And he was making fun of me. I was making fun of him. We were friends, okay? Like, there's a difference between being a friend with someone who's making fun of you. Raylene makes fun of me every hour of every day, 7 days a week. He's trying to give you a high five.
But we laugh about it.
We laugh about it.
We know.
All of my friends make fun of me. There's a lot to make fun of. So, Roger, someone witnessed that I was making fun of Roger. Roger was making fun of me. It was back and forth. But it was understood, and it was accepted between us. That was our thing. Look at Chuck and I. I mean, I attack Chuck viciously, and he comes back and humiliates me on social media all the time. I love it. We love it. That's different.
Right.
That's
There's
different.
respect there, though, still.
That's different, right? So someone, I remember this like it was yesterday, in 3rd grade. Someone observed this and told the teacher that I was bullying Roger, even though I wasn't. Dad gets a phone call. I came home that day, and he's like, and I just said this the other day on the air, my dad really never raised his voice, never touched me, never hit me, ever. But there was a sense of God, I loved my dad. I mean, I loved him more than anything in the world. Huge respect. And he would say, what's going on with you and Roger at school? Whoa. Where'd that come from? How do you know about this? What's going on with you and Roger? I don't know. It's just, the playground. And And I said my thing, and he's like, look, you need to chill out. Chill out. And I'm like, okay, Dad, I will. End of story. That's accountability. That's being a good parent. I think you're probably going to be a dad someday, and you're probably going to be just like this guy. You're probably going to make sure your kid knows how to thicken their skin, and kids are getting thicker skin at younger ages now. But also stand up for yourself and protect yourself. Advocate for yourself. You're not always going to be able to tell Dad everything that's going on in your life that's shitty or unfair. So he's trying to teach you how to navigate the waters of life, which are crap all the time. Not all the time. There's a lot of white water and a lot of unpredictable stuff that's going to happen in your life. These bullies are helping you become an adult probably faster than you need to be. But you're learning things at 11 years old that I'm still trying to learn at 53. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know. It comes down to, it begins with parenting. It begins with parenting. I mean, we can sit and point fingers all day, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
The school, the teacher, the principal, the bully itself, the bully's father, the coach, whatever. But we need parents to step up and be accountable for their kids and say, look, I got an email from the principal or I got a phone call from the teacher or whatever. I'm telling you right now, knock that shit off. Stop it. We need more parents to do that.
Well, it's respect. You gotta somehow earn it as a parent, in my opinion. Like that's where I think it really is. And like, so for Connor, like I tell people a lot of these funny things. It's a perspective issue, right? So Connor's now doing these things. I'm a very proud dad. Obviously, if you guys follow me on Facebook, you know I'm a proud dad. I'm a spewing proud dad. But there's things that I don't allow. I try getting my son mentally. He needs to be proud of himself, not
exactly,
because like there's things that we enable in our society that create a bigger problem when we're adults, in my opinion, than we realize. And one of them is, hey, I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. So now I'm wiring my kid to do things only to make me proud. So at some point it's going to be to his detriment, right? Because I got to make dad proud. I got to make mom proud. I got to make my teacher proud. I got to make my wife proud, my girlfriend. And it's going to be anxiety ridden, right? Rather than earning the respect. So I always tell them, you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Right? You should be proud of yourself. So now at some point when I'm not here, like JD said, that he's doing things for himself. And it's just a weird mental thing.
And you're
right?
a single parent.
It's that big.
Joe,
you know?
You're a single parent.
Right. And that's a scary thing. I'm a full-time single parent. You know, Connor does have a mom. We were lightly discussing it. And then this is another situation that I think kids that nobody even thinks about. Because like we all have friends that have addiction problems, right? Have we ever thought about their kids, what they're going through these addictions?
Exactly. And that's what that was one thing I was going to bring up. I think that a lot of times most bullies are going through something themselves. Yeah. And unfortunately, these are the things they put in their toolbox instead of things that you have. And the best tool you'll always have is pride and confidence in yourself. And I can guarantee that more than likely those bullies have neither of those things. No. I bet you they have a really extreme lack of confidence and pride in themselves.
Yeah.
And if you can just always remain proud of you, proud of what you've done. Sure. I've done some really stupid things in my life.
I never
have. Well, I will tell you because we're all being honest here right now. So I will tell you, a long time ago, I did something really dumb and I committed a crime. And I had to go to jail for 3 years. And when I came home, there was a lot of bullies. And there was a lot of things to face. But what I did every night was the same thing that I did every night while I was away. If I could put my head down at night on my pillow and know that I had done something good, that I had made somebody smile, if I could be proud of myself. And then when I was home, if I could be proud of myself, if my kids were safe, if my kids were proud of me and okay with me, then I was okay and nothing else mattered.
Yeah, right.
Nothing. And it's hard to gain that kind of confidence and pride in yourself, but it will give you the most strength that you've ever had in your whole life. It really will.
We're getting a phone call here. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, JD, Wayne Warner calling in. How are you?
We're well, man. We're so glad that you're watching and listening this morning. What say you, pal?
Well, I say another fantastic show while you and Raylene and Aired Out. and again spotlighting something that is so affecting so many youths today, and so proud to be on there during this great show you're doing with Connor. I reached out to Connor from Nashville probably about a month ago because of the attention that you had given him in the cause, and I was just so proud to see someone of his age already learning how to turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones. And it's such a great thing to see.
What do you have to say to Connor? He's right here in front of you, pal.
Connor, way to go, man. You know, it's great when we can find, it's a loud world and it can be a lot of negativity out there, and trying to find the attitude of gratitude every day it's sometimes challenging, but when we can do that and when you can help to remind people to do that, that is such an asset and it's such a needed entity today. And so hats off to you, man. Way to go.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to talk to you, bud.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks, Wayne. Have a great day.
I grew up, JD, you can't stop lips like this on a dime. You got me going now.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
You go, Beth. You go, babe. You do it.
I grew up with a river, the Missisquoi River, flowing behind my house, Connor. And I used to spend a lot of time down by that river. And it took me a while, but I finally noticed that the only fish that were going with the flow were dead. And it's so good to see people like you going against the flow of negativity, against the social media put downs, whether it be it's just going against the flow of all this stuff out there that's going on, and it's a tough swim, but it's definitely worth it, and that's where you really stand out. And way to go! Hats off to you, and another great show, JD.
Wayne, were you bullied?
Absolutely. You know, I grew up on stage in my dad's band and was definitely, I think as a lot of artist types are, I was definitely misunderstood by myself for years. I was misunderstood by who I was. I knew I wasn't, the norm. I lived in an artist's brain and didn't really know what that was, nor did anyone in my classes. And so I was definitely had the circle, the target on me. And it was a very, very tough ride for sure. And I love what Raylene said. It took me a long time to understand. Hurt people hurt people. Yeah. And so as I now in my later years, I try to find out the why behind, what's going on with these kids, why there's so much hurt out there and so much hurting. And that's really something as a society, I'm glad that Connor and his dad are drawing attention to, because there's definitely something broken out there in the family structure.
Wayne, I read your book, and I remember that you said in your book that there was a time where there was kind of a pivot in your social sphere where people were starting to recognize that your talent with singing and performing and playing the guitar, you suddenly started morphing into the cool guy, the cool kid. You were starting to be admired for your level of talent with everyone.
Well, one day I was the kid talking about the things I wanted to do and misunderstood for it. And then another day, now I'm in the newspapers and I'm on the radio. And the same kids that were throwing stones at me yesterday now wanted to be my best friend. Mm-hmm. And so while my confidence was starting to grow, the marks were still there. And I think that's these things mold you for sure. And that's the tough thing about it. It takes a long time. And some people I don't think ever do heal from it. I'm grateful that I can look back on it and say, I wouldn't change anything, but that's not the case for too many.
No.
Yeah. You're amazing, man. I hope Connor gets to meet you someday, Wayne.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. And again, another great show. And again, you're using the power of the mic to show the power of your heart. And everyone loves you for it, JD. And way to go, Connor. And you guys all have a great day.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks, Wayne.
Bye-bye.
So Wade makes a great point, though. The relation to Connor's message, we've all been through it, right? Like, I've been bullied, you've been bullied. We've all been through it at some point in our life. And the message I try to tell Connor is that this is going to happen the rest of your life. So just imagine, though, we sit here and talk about how we let things affect us, right? Just imagine if we all started doing one thing we held ourselves accountable for today. Just start with one thing. Like Connor says, you don't have to. It's really hard for people to make a change because they expect to make a big change happen today, right? The people that make the changes happen are the ones that realize that every day is going to be the struggle, but every day we make an improvement, right? So whether it's a teacher, hold yourself accountable. You're going to come in today and you're going to say, you know what? I'm going to hold this child accountable. I'm going to stop my lip service. I'm going to stop enabling. And that's the biggest thing that we all need to look at. Like, and I do it myself too. I enable Connor sometimes and I catch myself. You know what I mean? So as long as we all start, I mean, that's addiction, that's bullying. And like you said, bullying, I think it's just a big jealousy issue where, like you said, they just need the attention. They're trying to get it from somewhere.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So again, as we change perspectives of our kids, you know what I mean? The negativity, what the problem is in society is negativity is what sells. JD, you hit it on the head before. Like, you turn your radio on and that's all we're infusing and that's all we need to find because positivity. When I used to run restaurants, right? As a marketing guy, I used to love this because, you get one bad review, it goes everywhere.
Of course it does.
This guy feels, these people feel the need to tell the world because their water was warm or something silly. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you have the most amazing time of your life, something that you should celebrate, honor, and just put out there, and nobody does it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And with music, Wayne's great, right?
Yeah.
So you think about it. When we were kids, a guy playing his guitar in his garage all the time. It might be cool if some people don't get it because they're jocks and they're this and they're that. They just don't get it. So like, for me with Connor, it's like just have a conversation.
Yeah.
Go meet somebody. I tell you all the time, you don't have to agree with somebody to be their friend. Like most of my friends are people I don't agree with at all.
Right.
And that's what makes me stronger. I surround myself with those people to make myself better every day.
Sure.
It's always nice to have people that support you, but the thing is we got to do is hold ourselves accountable.
Sure.
You see your kid running around acting like a jackass.
Right.
It's not the kid's fault, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's like at some point we got to say. And,
I think we also are living in times, Raylene and I, my God, we talk about this every hour of every day. We're living in times right now where we're just, the culture, our society, we're oversensitive about so much. People just can't handle some poking, some fun. We get our feelings hurt. We lash out on social media. We react that way. You've got to know the difference between some poking and some fun.
It's like canceling comedians lately.
It's canceling comedian culture. But some poking and some fun. All right, maybe you took it a little bit too far. You brushed against the edge a little bit. Dial it back a little bit. Whatever, keep it in check. But there's a difference, man, between poking at someone and making fun of someone. I make fun of my friends all the time, and they always come back and return fire harder than what I dished out. Always. I love it. It's fun. But there's a difference, man.
Well, the difference is you laugh together about it.
We laugh together.
Yeah, but
And
you respect your lines.
Right,
So
exactly.
you respect your lines, and that's what I tell Connor too. Like he'll get on. He's a gamer, right? And I hear him from the other room. I'm always eavesdropping, and ask Connor. The minute he says he hates something, I lose my shit. I'm sorry, guys, because those are words I just do not agree that should be used by any child.
Right.
And it's a strong word. Right?
It is.
So let's think about the way we treat people and the wordage we use. So it's like even with relationships, like I won't swear to my girlfriend ever. Like why would I ever tell somebody off that I love? You know what I mean? Like this is where I get really confused about love, and this is what we were talking about before. Ways we raise kids. a boy is raised to be a provider. So now when he's older, he's expected to be a provider. This is the social situations we're in now, right? Guys are now crushed because we feel worthless. Women don't appreciate the men the way that we used to, right?
Right.
We're all an independent society, and which I get it. I love it. I believe in everybody has their rights. Everybody should be able to have equal rights. I have no racism in my body, right?
Yeah.
There's shitty people in every race. There's shitty people in every genre. There's shitty people in every, whatever you want to call it, culture, right?
Of every color.
And there's some amazing fucking people in all these same situations. So
Absolutely.
it's really just a people issue to me, right?
You listening to this, Connor?
Oh, he gets this all the time from me.
All
We
right.
have these conversations for hours at night when he tells me how tired he is to go to bed. Then he starts asking me questions, and then Dad goes off, right?
Yeah.
But I take that time to educate him with it.
Yeah.
That's what parents need to do.
Good parent.
Stress of life is bad enough, and that's where I think a lot of it really stems from nowadays. Because nowadays we have more single parents than we ever had.
Yeah.
More single moms than we've ever had.
Family structure
our
is different.
finances structure is not
Yeah.
to the point where, we have to go out and beat ourselves up 2-3 jobs to be able to afford my son to be able to do the things that I want to do with him. You know what I mean? And then we lose track. And this is where I get really, with parents, we lose track, right? We don't realize how much time we're not spending with our kids now.
Yeah.
Right.
And I realized this before. Like I was doing
to
podcasts
give
and radio
them
shows
things.
and doing
Yeah,
things like you
to
guys,
give them
right?
things, exactly,
Yes.
Ray.
Things.
Working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week from my home so I can spend time with my kid who I saw a half hour a day.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And as a grown adult, I used to think as a provider, being a man, we got to work and bring the money home. And if that means I got to work 180 hours a week, I'm going to do it because I'm the man, right? But then we don't realize the effect it has on these little guys, right? You know what I mean? The wordage that we use, the upsetness. Like if you have a toxic home, how are you going to expect not to raise a toxic child? So when his mom was young when we separated, and people were like, at first I was like, I got to do the dad thing. Very toxic relationship. And one day I woke up, I was like, how can I make sure my son's happy if I'm never happy? So if you're a parent and you're never happy, how do you expect to raise a happy kid, right? Because what you do is
you rub off on them.
exactly, they learn from you, right? Like, so I tell Connor, lead by example. So every time he goes, I have to remind him of who he is,
Sure.
what he's about. And it's not bad to give reminders every day. These little motivational mornings are reminders to even adults that we can start over.
Yeah.
Life's not that bad.
Sure.
You have somebody out there somewhere that loves and respects you,
Yeah.
and just change your perspectives. A shift of perspective can change your whole world, right? And like Jelly Roll, right? We all love Jelly Roll. I took Connor to
Yes.
the concert last year. He was floored, and a lot of it was because of the message he sends. Like a lot of things I do with Connor are messages, right? And
Right.
messages as a parent that reinforce my messages. It's like going to Valaris. Now through the bullying, we have Connor in martial arts, which even blows my mind even more because now I try to remind the school that my son's in martial arts. He's in MMA. He's being trained to protect himself, but
Sure.
he chooses not to still because of his integrity, and he understands that. What's that solve? If I go beat this kid up back or I go punch him in the nose back, what does it solve? It's going to keep this momentum going until it spills over into something bigger. And like we said, school shootings, suicides, these are the things I concern myself with, and I bring up to the school that the school's not even thinking about. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, when you're going to enable this for a few years, this kid's going to be out of control. And then we have parents now that literally tell you direct to your face, I have no control over my kid.
Yeah.
So I'm like, did you give up? Did you not think of another way? I mean, kids are fun, man.
Sure.
Like they're like Connor tells you, like I'm a bigger kid than him, and sometimes we have to make sure our kids have a better day. Like I'll wake up and I struggle too, but sometimes it's like being a waiter, right? You go through the door, you got to put that face on, and then as Connor says, when you do it right, because like I do it to make Connor's day better. You know what makes my day a hell of a lot better too. You know what I mean? Because it's just that perspective change, right? That mentality stuff. So I just tell people, pick one thing every day. That's Connor's thing. Pick one thing every day to better yourself at. And like as a father, I don't think I'm a great dad by any means. I just think I'm a caring dad that sits down and has a conversation with his kids. You know what I mean? That's where I think most parents really need to get
that's
to.
where the disconnect really came, and you touched on that the changes in families and the makeup of the family and the workload, and as a kid growing up, no matter what, we always sat at the table for dinner.
Yes.
And that's where we had our conversations. That's where my parents checked in with us. That's where they, found out what was going on. Normally, while my mom was cooking, we were at the table doing our homework.
Right.
That way, if we had any questions, she could go back and forth. That's the way we grew up. And that connection is lost. And like you said, people are busy. There's a lot more single families. People are working more. And what that has taken away from not just the kids, but families too. I mean, I'm sure it's nice to sit at the table with your significant other and have those conversations, because when else do you have them?
Exactly. But are we making time for that?
Yeah,
like ask
we're
Connor.
not.
Like I do it with his friends. And when his friends come over for dinner, I'm like, no, we stop playing video games. We sit at the table. I tell my friends our phones go off because it's us time. It's our family time. It's time for me to ask. It's no different than a relationship.
Sure,
This
right.
is why I laugh about. Like if you want a positive relationship, even at our age, right? It's about what things? Communication, right? You can't fix anything unless we know about it. That's my thing with Connor. So accountability, right? Holding yourself
trust.
accountable and trust. Well, yeah, trust.
Connor, have you heard of Sean Perry and We Are Hope?
We Are Hope Incorporation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
Have you had a chance to chat with him?
not yet.
Not yet.
But listen, also, whenever my dad says he's not a good dad, never believe him.
Yeah. No, I
He is
don't.
amazing.
We don't believe
Good.
him. Yeah, we don't.
Well, there's many
believe
things we could do better. Sean is amazing. So in our thing, we've had so much going on. The whole thing is blown up. Merch, sicknesses, the floods. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing, it's like, man, I never thought I'd say I can't wait for basketball season to be over. I'm the biggest basketball fan. I literally bleed green. But this year has been, with Connor's schedule, by the time we get home, deal with our dogs, eat,
Right.
feed. Like I feel like I'm letting him down because I can't sit down and have that conversations with him, right?
Sure.
But we he does 2 karates. Does karate MMA. He does 2 basketball teams. Me as a dad, I don't understand why parents don't keep their kids busy.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot on us, you know what I mean. But as a single dad, I can do it. If you have a significant other, then you should be able to afford the time even more so, or help figure it out. But keep your kids busy, because one of the best things I've done for Connor is support his goals. There's things I'd love my
Sure.
kid to do, but it's not my life, right? So
Well,
enable
listen,
his goals.
I just want to jump in here because Sean Perry, who is the executive director of We Are Hope, is on the line with us right now. Hi, Sean. Good morning.
Nice.
Can you hear us okay, bud? We may have lost him. Sean Perry, are you there? Oh, we had him.
No, we would love to talk to
Let's see
Sean.
if I can get him back. Let's see if I can get him back.
We were working on a bunch of things, and unfortunately, it's taking a little bit longer than we'd hoped.
Sean is incredible. This guy has a summer camp that is amazing, and he loves kids, and he knows that what they're going through in life is very different from what the kinds of things that we were going through, man. I
We
mean,
didn't have social media. We went and played with sticks and stones when we were 8 years old, and these guys are on TikTok,
right? Yeah, right. We're going to see if we can connect here with Sean in a little bit. But are you on TikTok? Are you?
Yeah. Like not my motivational mornings, but I'm on TikTok in general. Yeah.
How do you react to? And Raylene was asking you a little bit about what you bring in your toolbox. You got to be prepared for every day. How do you react to being provoked, being taunted? It's not easy, my man.
Being hated on.
Yeah, I don't know if I would be able to react as well as you. I'm just a different kind of person, I think. But I think you're doing a great job.
So a lot of you guys might not believe me, but if it's cyberbullying, I really don't care. It's different when it's online bullying and in real life bullying, because online bullying, they're not saying it to your face. They're hiding behind a computer or a phone, and they're scared. In real life, it's different, because in real life, they're saying it to your face, and if some guy told me to go kill myself on TikTok, I would just ignore it. But if some guy told me to go kill myself in real life, that's a different story, because online is online.
I think we got Sean with us. You there, bud?
I'm here. Sorry about that, JD.
Man, I got to tell you, it is such an honor to have you with us. This little kid here, Connor, is just navigating some rough waters in life. And I know, as the executive director of We Are Hope, you take this kind of stuff real personally. Bullying, mental health of kids, and the importance of kids living a life as a kid and not growing up too fast. But what do you say to Connor, man?
So first, I want to say I received a message from JD a while ago, and hello, Connor and Dad. I received a message a while ago after one of the shows, and what you're experiencing really just hit home with me. I too, as a kid, was bullied for many different reasons. But what I want to say is I'm so proud of you in what you're doing to minimize the strain and anguish that you're experiencing, and looking at it from a different lens. And it was really interesting when you started doing this motivational stuff. I went through a lot of your work, and what I find interesting is you're saying the same thing I'm saying, right? Is that there must be something going on with this individual that's struggling. What we realize about bullies is that they got a deep level of pain that they're experiencing, and they're just trying to use us as the punching bag because they don't have anybody else. And so I'm really proud of the work that you're doing, and I would just encourage you to find adults in your building that believe in this work also, because a lot of times they're our biggest obstacle.
Yeah, man. A little bit about We Are Hope, what you do, how much you love kids, and the difference in the world that you are trying to make.
So, We Are Hope's goal is to make sure that all children have access to mental health supports, and that no child feels left alone in a school building or at home. That they always have someone that's readily available to make sure that their emotional needs are met.
Yeah. And you do this in many different ways, one of which is your summer camp.
Yeah, so we have the Upper Valley Youth Wellness Retreat, where we support students, 4 days a week for 8.5 hours a day, teaching them all types of skills, neuroscience, basically mental health literacy. They have a lot of fun working with horses. So we do some equine wellness, yoga, mindfulness, hiking, swimming, and again, a lot of mental health literacy. We believe that it's important for children to have a place that's safe where they can focus on their mental health without worrying about if they're alone in this fight, because we all struggle with anxiety. We all struggle with some feelings of hopelessness and loneliness. And so to be surrounded by people that are just like you, that aren't afraid or ashamed of it, I believe is really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Brother, we need more Sean Perrys in the world. We just had a comment from a lady named Kathy saying we need more Connors in the world. Mm-hmm. You guys are you're doing you're in an uphill battle, my friend. I mean, look at this world that we live in. I mean, stuff is crazy right now. It's crazy what our kids are dealing with and what they're shouldering every day. What they're carrying around for weight is a lot more than most of us were carrying around when we were kids.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we're seeing now is, we talk about, post-COVID and so forth and so on, but I think people don't realize that this was going on long before COVID. Mm-hmm. We just didn't have language for it.
Damn
COVID
absolutely true.
Yeah, I think COVID exacerbated what was already happening. We were literally, had our head in the sand, unwilling to look up, but COVID showed us that we had no choice, right? We had no choice but to look up. But what we can see historically was that anxiety was on the rise, depression was on the rise, suicide was on the rise. These things don't go down. They continue to go up. And what we need to do is look at these things as real, lasting situations that are happening to our children. And what I'll say, JD and Connor, and Dad, and all those that are listening, is it's interesting. I just got back from Kenya in December for my second trip to bring We Are Hope services and supports there. And what I'll say is that the kids in Kenya, believe it or not, are almost identical to our children here in the United States. And what I mean by that is the human condition is the human condition no matter where you are in the world. They struggle with anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, bullying, and so forth. And so what we have to do is we have to realize that what our kids are experiencing, whether it's bullying, whether it's mental health disorders or struggles, is that this is part of the human condition. Is we as adults have an obligation to make sure that our children have the necessary supports to get through this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
An obligation. You are damn straight right there. Spot on, brother. You are right. Man. Sean, we got to get you back in the studio at some point soon.
Yes,
I'd
we
love it,
do.
man. I'd absolutely love it. I'd love it.
And maybe we'll have Connor come in and sit down, and we'll all just have at it. But we love.
That sounds amazing. I'd love to do it.
We love you, brother. Lily had such a great time. Lily just loved your camp. She loved you. What you're doing in the world is incredible work, and we love and appreciate you, man. Thanks for hopping on with us this morning.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Connor, you take care, and JD has my information if you ever want to talk outside of this. But I'd love to come and do a show with you guys all together.
You got it,
Thank
buddy.
you, Sean.
All right, you guys take care.
Yeah,
we gotta get that pool tournament going.
Of course we
kids
do.
up. We've talked to Tally Lanes, and again, it's just a matter of me rearranging my life enough to catch up with everything going on.
Yeah.
Connor, just do you have like a definition, a working definition of what you think bullying is?
Yes.
Please.
It's harassment when they tell you to stop multiple times and you keep on doing it. That's bullying. And when they're also mainly targeting you, that's also bullying.
Targeting, yeah.
So basically, harassment and targeting is the main things of bullying.
Yeah. I might even say unwelcomed.
Yeah. Because when you're bullied, you feel very unwelcomed. And when you're the bully.
Yeah, right. Go ahead.
When you're the bully, you also feel pretty unwelcomed because why are you bullying if you don't feel something in you? When you're bullying, nobody in their right mind should be bullying for fun, for laughter. A lot of people bully because of things that are happening at home, things that are happening with their friendships, to look cool in front of girls, friends.
I still do that to try to look cool in front of girls.
You might as well give it up.
I'm already cool in front of girls.
Yeah.
But it's unwelcomed comments. It's unwelcomed, unprovoked, verbal.
And see, he just provoked me.
Yeah. That's exactly what I just did. I provoke Raylene all the time. And she comes out swinging. But it's unprovoked verbal or physical aggression toward you, something that you haven't invited. I invite it all the time from Raylene, my guy, or anybody. But you're not walking around with a shirt on that says "make fun of me," punch me. So it's unprovoked. It's unwelcomed stuff, and it's also repeated.
And you've also said stop.
You've said
and you've
stop.
asked kindly, and you've said please stop.
You've said
Stop.
that.
Yeah.
You've showed your emotion, and people are well aware of how much it hurts you, and so. For me, the fact that they are aware of the hurt that they're causing is that's a big bully. That is very much beyond picking and teasing. That's very much being a bully.
Absolutely.
And I want to bring up combat sports for a second.
Yeah, please.
Because a lot of combat sports, you'd think they'd be about positivity. Let's go. Let's win this. Like helping each other. And a lot of the times, for me, it's supposed
No, you can go.
it's supposed to be about like positivity, honest, like not too physical. But what I've been realizing is on my Northfield team, it's been opposite. It's been physical. It's been overly physical,
talking about the basketball
harassing,
teams.
fat jokes. This kid on my team, the bully number 2, or I don't know, but he pushed a kid into a wall in the middle of a basketball game.
Yeah.
And that's not supposed to be sports are supposed to be you're a team. There's no I in team. There's no B in team for bully. Like, you're supposed to be a team, not just think that you're all like not just
That you are
Yeah.
the basketball dude.
Yeah.
The god of basketball.
Hey,
And
listen.
then-
Yeah, go ahead.
and then go to school and then bully me about how bad I am at basketball when
We got another phone call here. Good morning.
What's up?
What's going on?
Dude, I saw my boy Connor sitting here on this show. And I said, I got to call in.
What do you think of this little fella here?
This is a dude that I met out there in Barrie, Vermont. And I don't think my life has been the same since. And I mean that in the most loving way possible, because this is a kid that at 11 years old has no right being as inspirational as he is. Like,
I know,
dude,
man.
you're giving us 60 years of life inspiration and you're only 11. Like, how did this work out like this?
It's Ben
It's
Field right
absolutely
there.
insane.
That's Ben Field.
Remember Ben?
Yeah.
it's the guy.
The guy
Yes,
with
sir. The guy.
the guy
That's the guy.
the guy with. I mean, let's be honest. The most hair that he's got on his head is his damn eyebrows.
Yes.
I mean, come on. Can we just
Those
say it
things,
like?
man, you could tell the weather by him on a certain day.
Yeah.
It's going to
Listen,
be a mild winter, my friends.
Ben is the host of the All the Calls podcast out of New York. He's also an announcer and commentator for Donnybrook Fight Promotions and many other fight events all over the country. And
He's waddling his way out the door on his way to work right now. But he had to make time for his boy Connor, because
Well-
that dude is
We
the
love you,
man.
Ben.
listen, buddy, we appreciate you, Ben, and I know that what you said is that just sums it up right there. This kid is like light years beyond where you and I were when we were 11 years old.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that, like, you know, like I said to the crowd that night in Barrie for the fights is, you know, this is a really, I use a quote, sorry, I just threw you guys through the car. Go here, JD. This is a kid that has taught me 2 very important life lessons. And the biggest one that I reiterated that night is the only things that are impossible is the things we do not let ourselves do. This kid is letting himself do everything he needs to do to succeed. And that, to me, is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. He's going to be successful with whatever he does, for sure.
So I wanted to, the biggest reason I called in today and wanted to reach out and talk to Connor, we talked about spearheading the New York expansion. This is something that really touched on my heart here. And I don't mean to eat up all your airtime and run my mouth. I get paid to do that other spot, so I'll go do it there. This kid is so incredible that I want to do whatever I can to help this project. If I can help bring it into New York, whatever I can do to get that done, I will gladly help in any and every way. And, you know, as somebody that was bullied, as somebody that did their share of bullying themselves, this kid makes a lot of sense with everything he says, down to why the bullies do what they do and all of the above. Connor, man, you really, really are firing on all cylinders here, brother.
Thank you.
All the calls next Tuesday night, 8 p.m. I'd love to get you on. We'll really talk about this, get that expansion going. Do another shameless plug tonight, JD. We're watching the rest of the Battle in Barrie 12 fights. So
There
if
you
you guys
go.
want to swing on through. Connor, you want to join us tonight? Watch some fights for a half hour or so? I know you got school tomorrow, but we'll be sitting down at 8 o'clock. Maybe you join us and we'll watch some fights.
I don't care if I got school tomorrow. Heck yeah.
There you go.
Dude, this kid is my spirit animal. I absolutely love it.
Brother, I appreciate you so much, man. You just welcomed Connor into the cage a couple of, what was it, a couple of weekends ago, up at the Barry Auditorium. You're a great mentor. You're a fantastic broadcaster. Your podcast is unbelievable. All the calls. I just love who you are, man, and I appreciate you.
Hey, man, we had to have a lot of irons in the fire. We got our scars, our burns, and our battle stories, but we got here today, who we are, how we are, and I don't regret a damn moment of my path here. So someday I'll give you the tell-all interview, JD. You get it scheduled, I'll make it happen.
I cannot wait for you to come in. Cannot wait.
It'll be like Strickland on Theo Vaughn, man. Like, it's going to be a long show, I'm telling you.
Well, I can't wait. Ben Field, thank you so much, buddy.
Hey, I love you guys. I love my extended family out in Vermont. Connor, my brother, let's get New York into this motivational morning message, man. It's a great idea.
See?
I'll see you tonight, brother. I'll send you guys that link. All love, all the time, guys.
Over and out, pal.
Thank you, Ben.
What a great guy.
What's great about this, though, and what really stuck out to me, you guys, if you follow my page, and I'm sorry for talking too much. I know it's Connor's moment, but through all this comes a realization that it's not a specific person that gets bullied.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're thinking it's the school shooters. We're thinking it's these guys that go crazy, and they get to the point where we forget how they got there, right?
Sure.
I don't understand. There's a long road of history that bullies usually show how we got there. But the fighters, the Ben Fields, the J.D. Greens, the Rayleens, like we all have a relationship to the story.
Lucas
that
John, Rex Thompson.
Right? The amazing people. Big shout out to Lucas, Rex, and Freddie LePan, right?
Yeah.
Because Villari's, right?
Yeah.
So
Villari's, Granite City MMA.
Well, you realize behind a lot of these fight clubs, people say fight club, it's where we send our bullies, right?
Sure.
It's really the guys. Most of these guys here that are in these clubs are the victims of bullying, right?
Yeah.
We JD, you've turned me on to some families that are we won't name names, but are in Granite City. They are in Villari's. They have their kids doing these things to help build their self-confidence, right? Help against these bullies. And when Connor goes there, the amount of love that has been given to him and acceptance, right? And this is all we're asking for, love and acceptance, right? And there's just one thing I wanted to say before I shut myself up, and this is one of the things that drives me the worst. And if we all think about this for a minute, I think it can change our lives. When we grow up, the one thing that bothers me the most, and this has happened in school, and the teachers tell me this, and this is where I stop them short. Because you know why she hit you? Because she likes you. You know why he beat you up? Is because he wants to be your friend. You know why she's being so mean to you and abusive to you? Is because she loves you. What is that teaching your kids? And then these women and kids grow up to realize that if they're not being abused, they're not being loved, right? So we need to flip that script. And to the respect issue. And that way, instead of, even poking the bear, like we all like to poke the bear, but I tell Connor, there's a line that you can never cross, right? And it's called respect. And that's where I go into the hateful words, the swearing, the things that in conversation we let slide and we're happy and it's funny, but like an hour later, we're like, wait, does he really think I'm an asshole? Does he think I'm the worst person in the world? Does my girlfriend really think I'm a fucking asshole, worthless piece of shit? Sorry to say this, but these are words that people throw around without accountability, right? So you're going to tell the person you love the most in the world that this is how you feel about them? And then it's a constant back and forth, right? This is where I think we as parents need to make our changes and find ways to reinstill positive notions, not to allow that girl to beat up your son or that boy to beat up your daughter, because really what we should be raising is people that we want that we would date, that we want our daughters and sons to date, and opposite, and take that reflection to how you treat your kids, right? So for me, it's respect, conversations. Everything that I teach Connor is what I would want in my girlfriend, right? Hey, I want you to sit me down, have a conversation with me, let's work through the tough times, right? If you're honest with me and there's no lies and you come to me, Connor will come to me and write himself out all the time. You know why? Because Dad's a lot less angry when you're accountable. You say you did something and you have a conversation about it. But if you lie about it, you try to hide it. And then when people find out, I don't care who you are, you're upset, right? There's a respect and a trust that's broken there somewhere. But that's all I ask for people to do. Make those small changes as an adult. You know what I mean? Don't enforce that violence is love. We got to get away from that. You know what I mean? And just support your kids. Spend 5 minutes, spend 10 minutes every day. Ask them, take a time, and listen. That's the best thing I can say is listen. We always want somebody to listen to our day. You know what I mean? We don't want to be preached to. We want to be listened to, right?
Raylene, thank you for just lining this up and being such an active part of this and
Absolutely.
asking him
I
some.
wouldn't have it
Thank
any
you,
other
Raylene.
way. I'm very happy to have you, honored to know you. Stay proud, stay confident,
I'm happy to be here right now.
and good. And I'm glad. And for everyone listening still, please get out to Jerry's tonight, 7 p.m. for the Connect 4, the beginning
Wait,
of the tournament. So the winner gets the first spot at the big tourney on the 30th. So get out there, have a great time, play some life-size Connect 4 tonight.
That's my
Jerry
question. I saw
Sports
this.
Tavern,
Isn't it great?
How
7
big is this
p.m.
thing?
It's
pretty big.
huge.
Yeah.
Also,
It's huge. It's going to be a great time.
if we're
And go ahead.
if we're done, that's okay. But you don't want to know what we forgot to mention. That's basically the most important.
Please.
Our zero tolerance policy.
Yes, that's what we need everybody to do.
Oh, yes.
Ben, everybody that called in, everybody we've talked to the last few months, we've talked to a lot of people, even like Keegan Hornstruz and all these guys, these fight guys that support Connor. Make a video. Zero tolerance.
What do you want us? What do you want businesses and organizations listening, watching right now? What do you want them to do?
I want them to contact me, and let's see if we can make a video together.
A zero tolerance,
video.
bullying. You ought to go down to World Cow, right there in
sometimes
Montpelier,
we gotta remind
and
businesses.
see DJ Barry. I'm telling you, this guy would jump on board and be one of your biggest supporters ever.
100%.
And we'll take Connor to you. If you guys go onto the Connor's Motivational Mornings Facebook page, you'll see a beautiful video of him and JD having fun, supporting the zero tolerance movement. And it's just, we're trying to remind businesses, because even me as in a chef industry, I get calls a lot about HR issues, if you know what I mean, sexual harassment issues, how to treat inner workings of bullying and toxic environments inside of a restaurant. And the problem is most owners are not enforcing their own rules. And this is where Connor's zero tolerance goes up. Because if you don't enforce the rule, you're enabling and then you're allowing these things to happen. How safe is a woman that works for you supposed to feel if she's constantly getting sexually harassed while at work? You know what I mean? Let's provide safe spots. Let's provide a listening atmosphere, and let's have zero tolerance.
So you want businesses or organizations to contact you. You'll go see them, and Dad will shoot the camera, and you'll make a zero tolerance video with them.
That's awesome.
And we can take a group of people. If you have a business that has 20 employees, I'll stand on a ladder and make this happen. I just think it's a great thing to stand behind. I think it's a great thing for your business to show support for, because you're basically saying that
We'll have to make a new one in the studio with all of us.
Yes.
Since I didn't get to be there with you that day.
Yes. Definitely, for sure. But, fighters, any business, if you guys support a zero tolerance, if you guys are done with child abuse, bullying, and domestic violence, because I think, all these kind of all have a tie-in together as these kids get older that are suffering from these things. Again, they need validation. There's something that they need, right? So as a parent, we need to figure this out and help our kids, right? Rather than punish them. Like Connor's best thing that even for me as a dad, because like I told you, I'm old school. I'm a kick a door down and punch somebody in the face and ask questions later type of mentality.
Yeah.
Where Connor's going, no, Dad, let's talk to these people. Let's be their friends. Let's figure this out.
That's amazing.
Spread hugs and loves. And also, guys, just one more thing, merch. We have some merch if you guys want to buy some sweatshirts to help Connor. So all the proceeds are going towards a college fund, and we're going to split them with an organization like we just talked to now, any organizations that want to connect with us. And then also Connor really wants to start a program so he can also support kids that want to do martial arts, pay for their trainings and do certain things. We have a bunch of sweatshirts that people want to get ordered. I just need everybody to reach out to us. And I also put out another challenge to the kids that are bullied, or any kids, or adults even. So obviously Connor's been bugging me about doing merch lately. I want to extend an offer to anybody who can make a Hugs and Love, size squared banner that we can put on a shirt. And I'm typically I've asked a bunch of the kids that we've reached out to and contacted that are bullied and say, hey, this is a cool project. Do you like art? Can you draw Hugs and Loves something that means something to you, whether it's a text or a picture or a mountain or a heart or something. Just
And
as
you'll
long as
pick
it says,
Get it to you.
It's not even a matter about picking one. We're going to put them all on a sweatshirt, and we're going to make them all
Oh,
available to be
God.
purchased. As long as the kids put a hashtag that means something to them and sign their artwork. I think it's an amazing thing for kids to look forward to. I think it's fun to have a kid and a parent and a family say, my stuff's on a shirt and with a supportive cause, and then we can drop ship and we can provide those for you guys very quickly and easily, right? So I think it's just something that to give, again, another bullied kid, an adult, a business, a positive touch, and,
Sure.
and something good to look forward to. So we've extended that out there to everybody as well. So
It's so easy to get in touch with you guys. Connor's Motivational Mornings on Facebook.
At us.
Yeah.
yeah, like us,
Follow.
love us.
Give them a like.
Subscribe to YouTube at Connor's or Motivational Mornings with Connor. Facebook Connor's Motivational Mornings. And Instagram Connor's Motivational Mornings.
And the last disclaimer I want to pick, I heard JD picking on me the other day about Connor's Fun Fridays and my corny jokes and trying to slip them off for my son. Connor picks all these himself. The only thing I do is make sure he picks a good one that's not so short and simply gets off the hook that easy. And as a production guy, I've made Connor take many retakes. Trust me.
Many of them.
So
Connor, thank you so much. And
Have a great
and
day.
Dad, thank you so much for coming in here, and thanks for being the dad that you are.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
listeners, and thank you guys for letting us do almost a complete takeover here. Thank you for the phone calls, Ben. We will get in touch with you today. You
gonna
guys
need-
reach out.
I'm going to need another hug after this.
Hugs and loves.
You know we got game.